Did you know that every year the world raises more than 70 billion chickens, and most of them are confined in intensive farms, never seeing natural sunlight? So what about the remaining few? Those are the ones raised free range, roaming in wide open spaces. Their wild-spirited journey also begins in modern hatcheries, where healthy chicks are hatched. They are then raised in comfortable conditions that allow them to follow their natural instincts. And once they reach market weight, they are taken straight to advanced processing plants, where continuous, precise production lines transform free-range chickens into tender, lean cuts of meat, as fresh as if they came straight from the farm. Today, let's join Agriculture Insight to explore how billions of free-range chickens are raised and why their products consistently command a higher price than industrial farmed chicken. Technical, simple, or journalistic, I can adjust it accordingly. In modern livestock farming, industrial chicken production was once considered the optimal formula for cost efficiency and output. But as consumers began weighing animal welfare more seriously, free-range farming quickly emerged as a more progressive and hard-to-ignore alternative. In 2024, the global free-range chicken market was valued at around $17.4 billion and is projected to grow several times over in the next decade. Each year, the shift toward free-range systems increases by roughly 8%, especially in the UK and Australia, where free-range eggs account for nearly half of the commercial egg market. However, free-range doesn't always mean true freedom. In the United States, even a small door opened for a few minutes a day can be enough to legally qualify as free-range. But under the European animal welfare standards, only farms that provide at least 4 meters squared of outdoor space per chicken, with vegetation, sunlight, and real opportunities to forage, dust bathe, stretch their wings, and express natural behaviors, are recognized as genuinely free-range. And now to see whether free-range farming truly lives up to expectations, let's head to Australia, where the model is applied rigorously, making it one of the largest free-range markets in the world. The process of selecting and incubating eggs is a crucial stage that directly determines the health and productivity of the entire flock. The eggs are not chosen at random. They come from parent stock flocks carefully selected for breed quality, reproductive performance, and genetic traits. Meanwhile, in closed housing, staff prepare the floor with compressed wood shavings or treated soft wood chips. These materials retain heat well, naturally absorb moisture, and provide a soft cushion to protect the eggs while limiting bacterial growth. Here, the entire area is disinfected, sealed, and controlled for temperature, humidity, ventilation, and lighting. The cleaner the environment, the fewer pathogens have the chance to threaten the chicks. Unlike industrial incubation, free-range farms spread the eggs directly onto the barn floor. This method not only reduces stress and embryo mortality, but also helps chicks develop natural responses to heat, light, and humidity from the very first day. An eggshell is only about 3 times thicker than a human hair, yet contains up to 7,000 tiny pores. This means even slight pressure or vibration can damage the cuticle layer and allow bacteria to enter. That's why specialized egg-spreading equipment is used, featuring silicone suction heads and low vacuum pressure, strong enough to hold the eggs, but gentle enough not to deform the shell. The eggs are then placed onto a bed of wood shavings adjusted to the right warmth, with humidity maintained at around 55%, closely mimicking the natural conditions under a brooding hen. After about 18 to 19 days of incubation, the chicks begin to stir and pierce the air cell, a sign that the hatching process has officially begun. When ready, they activate their remarkable instinct to break free, pecking from the inside along a curved line, rotating their bodies clockwise while using the neck muscles to apply steady pressure. Each rhythmic peck gradually opens the shell's edge, like a pre-programmed escape mechanism. By this stage, the chick's respiratory system is fully developed, allowing it to supply its own oxygen and sustain the effort needed for the final push. Once the crack forms a full circle around the shell, the chick gives one last burst of force to pop the cap open and wriggle its way out, a small but decisive challenge for its survival. During the first 7 to 10 days after hatching, chicks must be kept in a closed brooding pen with dry bedding, stable heat lamps, and an automatic watering system. Faced to nipple drinkers, they quickly learn to drink on their own within a few days, significantly reducing the risk of digestive infections. At this stage, their diet consists mainly of crumbled starter feed, a formula with protein raised to about 20% to support muscle and skeletal development. The goal isn't to make them grow as fast as possible, but to build the basics, learning to find their own food, seek water, and adapt to flock behavior, rather than relying entirely on human caretakers. In Australia today, mobile chicken coops are spreading rapidly, especially across free-range farms and regenerative agriculture systems. Because they can be moved continuously across pasture, mobile coops reduce parasite pressure by up to 80% and improve soil organic matter after each grazing cycle. Many farms in Victoria and Western Australia even integrate solar panels, ventilation fans, and automatic doors to streamline operation. By combining animal welfare, soil improvement, and economic efficiency, mobile coops have become one of the fastest-growing models in the free-range poultry sector. And from this very moment onward, the defining privilege that sets free-range chickens apart from industrial birds truly begins. In fixed free-range systems, chickens are released outdoors according to a tightly controlled schedule. During the first few weeks, they spend only 2 to 3 hours outside each day to get familiar with the weather, the ground, and to learn how to return to the coop on their own. Once they adapt, outdoor time is extended to about 8 hours, usually from morning until late afternoon. Bringing them back to the coop each day helps maintain their natural rhythm. Supplemental feeding, rest, protection from cold night winds, and reduced exposure to predators. Although they forage freely, natural food sources supply only about 30 to 40% of their daily nutritional needs, so farmers must provide additional grains and minerals to ensure steady growth. Thanks to constant movement in an open environment, their metabolism accelerates, subcutaneous fat decreases by roughly 30%, while thigh and breast muscles develop more prominently. As a result, their meat becomes firm, dense, and naturally springy, a texture that industrial farming cannot replicate, even with the same breed. By the 6th month, the hens begin laying eggs, and farmers collect each batch and transport it directly to the processing plant for packaging or for producing egg-based products. Each year, the world produces over 1.6 trillion commercial eggs. All of them are transported in the familiar trays, with cone-shaped hollows, triangular walls, and breathable surfaces. This seemingly simple design is highly effective. It locks each egg in place and reduces impact-related damage by up to 90%. From there, robotic arms equipped with force sensors and vacuum grippers lift entire stacks of trays without putting pressure on the shell surface. They rotate, raise, and place each stack onto the conveyor with precision, lining them up neatly and ready for the next stage of processing. Next, the eggs pass through an automated washing and sanitizing system. Low-pressure water is sprayed with just enough force to remove dust, manure, and straw debris without scratching the shell, or damaging the natural cuticle layer. After cleaning, the eggs move into the candling chamber where high-intensity light, about 30 times brighter than a standard lamp, together with optical sensors, scans through the calcium shell to detect cracks, displaced air cells, faulty embryos, or traces of blood. Next, the eggs move through the solenoid unit. Each piston delivers a precise push to direct the egg onto the correct conveyor based on its size or any detected defects. After passing all inspection and grading stages, the eggs are moved to the packaging area. Here, robotic arms gently place each egg into molded pulp or plastic trays, keeping them stable and minimizing impact. Each tray is automatically labeled with detailed information: packing date, farm origin, egg type, and quality grade. The trays are then stacked into large cartons and sent into a cooling system to maintain freshness throughout transport. Refrigerated trucks collect the finished batches and deliver them to logistics centers, from where they are distributed to hundreds of supermarkets and retail stores. That is the process inside an egg processing plant. But what about free-range chicken meat? A product with higher nutrient density and a price often several times higher than industrial chicken. Free-range chickens are typically raised for 2 to 3 times longer than industrial birds, which gives them firmer muscles, stronger bones, and thicker connective tissue. As a result, several steps in the processing plant, such as stunning, plucking, and deboning, must be adjusted in force, timing, or temperature to handle the characteristics of this type of chicken properly. After the carcass is rinsed, the viscera extraction system removes the entire set of internal organs in a single motion, keeping the membrane intact to prevent leakage and reduce the risk of cross-contamination. As the bird moves through the giblets collecting station, the heart, liver, and gizzard are retained if they pass hygiene inspection, while the remaining parts are sent to the byproduct processing line. Next, the cropper machine removes the crop and esophagus, areas prone to food residue and microbial buildup, before the chicken moves on to the net cutting stage, carried out according to commercial standards. After being thoroughly rinsed, the chicken moves into the auto cut-up system, where clusters of automated blades cut with anatomical precision, dividing the meat into commercial portions such as whole birds, thighs, wings, breasts, necks, skin, bones, or organ parts. Depending on factors such as weight, muscle thickness, meat color, and intended use, all evaluated automatically, breast meat may be directed toward quick processing lines or premium products, while the skin, bones, and cartilage are utilized to produce collagen, meat powder, functional foods, or raw materials for the livestock industry. Free-range chicken typically has a richer, firmer flavor than industrial chicken, and its taste is somewhat similar to turkey, but lighter and more delicate. It is naturally high in protein, selenium, and vitamin B12, a good choice for those who prefer healthy eating. It can be cooked in many ways: roasted whole, pan-seared, or marinated with barbecue or Asian-style sauces. In terms of price, in Australia, a whole free-range chicken usually sells for around Australian dollars 19.50 at retail, while an equivalent industrial chicken may cost only about $8 to $10 per kilogram, meaning free-range chicken is nearly twice as expensive, depending on the region. Breeding is carried out under two main models: fully industrial and semi-wild. In both systems, hens are carefully selected based on genetic health, egg productivity, and maternal instincts. The incubation process begins right at the farm, where workers collect each egg from the nests. Only those that meet strict standards, intact shells, balanced shape, and uniform size are chosen to ensure the highest hatching rates. Once collected, the eggs are taken to a sanitation area and gently washed with warm water from a heating system, a process that removes dirt and destroys bacteria without damaging the egg's natural protective membrane. Next, the eggs are carefully placed into specialized paper trays, each holding several dozen. Before moving them to the incubator, workers gently tap the eggs against one another or use light candling to check their sound and clarity, detecting hollow eggs or hidden cracks that the eye might miss. Only those that pass this test are kept to ensure a high hatching rate. Once ready, the eggs are transferred to the incubator, where the temperature is kept steady at around 37.5 degrees Celsius and humidity at 55 to 60%, precisely replicating the natural conditions of a brooding hen. Over the course of nearly 3 weeks, an automated system turns the eggs several times a day, allowing the embryos to develop evenly and preventing them from sticking to the shell. Every factor, from temperature and humidity to the turning cycles, is carefully controlled, for even the smallest deviation could mean the difference between life and death for the young pheasants growing inside. After about 23-25 days of incubation, life begins to stir quietly within the fragile shell. The young pheasant waits patiently for its moment, then starts tapping with its tiny, still damp beak, striking rhythmically against the shell and creating the first cracks. Each tap is like a declaration of its imminent escape from the confined world that has sheltered it for so long. The shell gradually breaks apart, revealing a small body covered in soft down of brown and golden hues. At once a natural coat for warmth and perfect camouflage in the wild. Still drenched and trembling on unsteady legs, it takes its first breaths, slowly opens its eyes, and greets the warm light of a new world, where the journey of survival and growth is only just beginning. Immediately after hatching, the chicks are moved to a brooding house, an enclosed space lined with straw or sawdust to preserve heat and reduce slipping, while shielding them from drafts to create maximum safety. The temperature is kept between 32 to 35 degrees Celsius during the first week, then gradually lowered week by week to help them adapt to the natural climate. Light and humidity are carefully regulated to stimulate feeding instincts and encourage activity, crucial for pheasants. Known for their agility, nutrient-rich feed is placed in long troughs or multi-compartment round trays, making it easy for chicks to reach without spillage, while water is provided through inverted bottles with shallow catch trays, both practical and designed to keep their feathers dry. This meticulous care, combined with their innate wild instincts, makes pheasant chicks sturdier and more resilient than many other poultry species from their very first days of life. On large pheasant farms in the United States, there is one task that may sound simple, yet it is key to protecting the entire flock: fitting beak masks on the young birds. The purpose of this practice comes directly from pheasant behavior. In high-density environments, they are prone to pecking feathers, fighting, and even inflicting serious injuries on one another. The beak mask acts like a tiny shield. It limits direct vision and softens the force of each peck, turning potentially harmful strikes into harmless gestures. Thanks to this, their plumage remains intact, their health is preserved, and the flock lives in greater harmony. At just a few weeks old, the chicks are gathered in small groups inside a quiet room. Farmers carefully catch each one, holding it firmly yet gently enough to prevent panic. With a swift and practiced motion, they slip a small plastic ring, often blue or yellow, through the beak. Today, in the United States, this technique has become standard practice in many commercial game bird farms, especially in states where sport hunting is widespread. For farmers, it is both a humane and effective solution, allowing the birds to thrive until they reach market weight or are released back into the wild. Once they are fully grown and strong enough to withstand a new environment, pheasants are loaded onto trucks in golden yellow plastic crates, stacked neatly like massive Lego blocks. Each crate is securely locked, designed to provide ventilation so the birds can breathe easily while preventing them from pushing against each other or escaping, ready for the journey to larger enclosures where their next stage of growth awaits. These new pens are encircled by sturdy netting, serving both as a shield against predators and as a barrier to stop these skilled flyers from escaping. Inside, the space is arranged like a natural training ground. Wooden perches set at different heights provide ideal vantage points for the pheasants to rest, sharpen their reflexes, and maintain their innate wariness. The flooring changes with the seasons to mimic the wild as closely as possible, covered in crisp white snow during winter, and layered with sand or dry straw in warmer months, offering comfort and familiarity beneath their feet. Above, a canopy combined with overhead netting not only keeps the flock contained, but also blocks wild birds and animals from intruding. Pheasant meat is unlike the heavy fattiness of duck or the melt-in-your-mouth tenderness of industrial chicken. It carries a different kind of refinement, firm, lean fibers, long muscle strands, and a flavor that is bold yet delicate, leaving a lingering sweetness at the back of the throat, like the scent of fresh grass still wet with morning dew drifting on an autumn breeze. In fine European restaurants, roast pheasant is regarded as the true test of a chef. The thin skin crisps to perfection, glistening with a bronze sheen, enveloping the meat within, juicy yet springy, each bite seeming to melt while still holding its resilience. The fragrance of thyme, butter, and white wine intertwines, evoking memories of a hunting season banquet in an old castle. With braised pheasant, patience is essential. The meat is slowly simmered with brandy, wild mushrooms, and root vegetables, allowing every fiber to absorb layers of deep, complex flavor. Each spoonful reveals a progression of tastes, the sweetness of the meat, the gentle richness of the broth, and the subtle astringency of the wine upon the tongue. And then there is pheasant soup, an entirely different story, rustic and comforting. The broth is crystal clear, carrying a natural sweetness, laced with the aroma of onion and celery. A single sip spreads warmth through the body, as if cradling the golden autumn forest itself within your hands. It all begins in oak-filled pastures, where nature, humans, and time come together to raise the finest Iberico pigs, the very soul of this legendary delicacy. Here, the journey of an Iberico pig begins even before birth. The sow carries her piglets for about 4 months before giving birth to a healthy litter of 8 to 12 piglets. After birth, the piglets are exclusively nursed for the first 30 days, a crucial period that boosts their immune systems and helps them adjust to their surroundings. Once weaned, the piglets are separated from the mother and raised in groups of about 40 per pen. During this stage, they are fed a high-protein, energy-rich diet to ensure rapid and efficient weight gain. As their bodies begin to grow stronger, they are moved outdoors, where they start to get acquainted with nature. In these open areas, they continue to receive industrial feed, but also munch on any available vegetables, from banana stems and sweet potatoes to water spinach. True to the phrase, eating like a pig, they devour anything edible without the slightest fuss. With their bellies full, the pigs roll around in the dirt, soak in muddy puddles, and doze under the afternoon sun, as if indulging in a natural spa day right in the heart of the oak forest. Once they're big enough, the pigs graduate from the barns and step into a life of freedom among the oak forests, a crucial phase that defines the signature richness and flavor of Hamon Iberico. Their main food source at this stage is acorns, but there's an interesting detail. Acorns grow on branches 4 to 6 meters high. Since pigs can't climb trees, how do they get them? Farmers use long sticks to knock the acorns down, while the pigs eagerly wait below, ready to enjoy the acorn rain as it falls. But eating isn't all they do. The pigs must keep moving as they forage, turning mealtime into a natural daily workout. This constant activity strengthens their legs and muscles, creating firm, flavorful meat with beautiful marbled fat, the hallmark of Hamon Iberico's worldwide reputation. After around 14 to 18 months, once the pigs reach their ideal condition, they are taken into processing to be turned into premium products, the most renowned of which is Hamon Iberico. On the same day, they are transported to processing facilities where every step is carried out swiftly, yet with meticulous care and precision. The hind legs, the primary cut used for Hamon, are carefully trimmed, with excess fat and skin removed in preparation for the salting stage. Other parts, such as the front shoulder, paleta, loin, and tenderloin, are deboned and separated for different uses, including making sausages and cured meats. Once sorted, the lean cuts are hung on large trays and moved to the sausage processing area. When made from Iberico pork, these sausages are known as chorizo Iberico, a traditional Spanish delicacy. Now let's dive into the process of creating the finest Hamon Iberico. The pork legs are placed on a conveyor belt to begin the next stages of preparation. Here, skilled workers use sharp knives to carefully remove part of the skin and outer fat layer. This step not only reshapes the leg, but also allows the salt to penetrate more evenly during the upcoming curing phase. Every cut requires absolute precision. Even the slightest mistake could affect the final quality. After this initial trimming, each leg is tagged with a unique barcode, allowing for full traceability and quality assurance throughout the entire production process. After preliminary processing, the pork legs are transferred to the salting area. Here, pure sea salt is evenly applied to each leg, either through an automated system or by hand. With machines, the salt is distributed with precision. In traditional methods, skilled artisans meticulously rub the salt by hand, adjusting to the unique shape of each leg. Regardless of the method used, the goal remains the same: for the salt to penetrate deeply, evenly, and appropriately, forming the foundation for the harmonious, rich flavor of Hamon Iberico. Once the hams have been coated with salt, they are moved into a specialized pressing system equipped with pressure rollers. Inside the machine, each ham is gently compressed between two conveyor belts and passed through a series of rollers, ensuring even pressure across the entire surface. This step helps the salt penetrate deeper into the layers of meat while maintaining the ham's uniform shape and structure. Next, the hams are automatically transferred to the salting chamber, a cold room maintained at temperatures between 1 degrees Celsius and 5 degrees Celsius. Here, pure sea salt continues to be evenly sprinkled over the surface, both to preserve the meat and to develop the distinctive flavor of Hamon Iberico. The stable cold environment allows the salt to slowly and evenly diffuse into the meat, gradually drawing out moisture without damaging the protein structure, laying a solid foundation for the curing stages that follow. The salting process typically lasts between 1 and 2 weeks, depending on the weight of each ham, and is carefully managed to preserve the integrity of the meat. Once completed, the Iberico hams move on to the cleaning stage, in preparation for the final curing phase. The hams are hung using ropes and moved via an automated conveyor system to the brushing station, where soft rollers gently remove any excess salt. Next, the hams are rinsed with cold water to wash away any remaining salt and thoroughly clean the surface. After rinsing, the hams are placed into a specialized pressing machine for shaping. This equipment uses durable plastic molds to gently compress the meat, enhancing its structure and evenly distributing the fat and lean muscle. Next, a skilled artisan lightly taps each ham's surface, a traditional technique used to detect internal voids or defects before moving on to the drying phase. The hams are then placed on trays and moved into enclosed chambers, marking the start of the drying phase, an essential step that determines both texture and flavor. During the first 90 days, the hams are kept in rooms with controlled temperature and humidity, maintained at around 3 degrees Celsius and 90% humidity. This environment allows the meat to dry gradually without losing moisture too quickly, helping preserve its natural tenderness and elasticity. This gradual transformation also helps form a natural outer crust, while the meat inside slowly develops a richer umami flavor. After 90 days, the hams are moved to the upper floors, areas with better air circulation and more stable temperatures. Here, they begin to interact with the outside environment in a carefully controlled manner. Artisan workers open windows and ventilation shutters in the attic chambers to allow sunlight and natural breezes to enter. The amount of light and airflow is adjusted throughout the day to prevent the hams from drying too quickly or unevenly. The goal of this stage is to allow sunlight and fresh air to gently complete the drying process, enhancing the signature aroma and texture, firm on the outside yet tender and flavorful within. After the natural drying process is complete, the ham is lowered and prepared for the next important step, applying fat. A thin layer of fat, usually refined pork fat or extra virgin olive oil, is evenly spread over the entire surface of the ham, with special attention given to the muscle areas. This creates a protective barrier that prevents air and moisture from escaping too quickly, avoiding excessive drying or cracking during the extended curing period. This layer of fat not only helps retain moisture, but also maintains the ham's tenderness and distinctive flavor, while adding an appealing glossy finish to the product. Thanks to this step, the ham can continue the curing and fermentation process perfectly, developing rich aromas and a firm yet tender texture, resulting in an exceptional eating experience when fully matured. In the extended curing phase, after being coated with protective fat, the Iberico hams are placed into curing cellars, dark, quiet spaces with strictly controlled conditions, ideal for continuing the natural fermentation process that lasts from 2 to 3 years. Throughout this period, the ambient temperature gradually rises up to 25 degrees Celsius, allowing moisture in the meat to evaporate slowly. On average, each ham loses about 1 kilogram in weight. Meanwhile, natural enzymes quietly break down proteins and fats into aromatic compounds, creating the distinctive, intoxicating aroma of jamón ibérico. If you ever notice white or green mold on the surface of these hams, don't worry. This is a completely natural and harmless phenomenon. In fact, it plays a crucial role in regulating humidity and developing the flavor. As the curing process approaches 2 years, expert tasters perform a sensory evaluation using a traditional technique known as kala. A small probe made from horsebone is inserted into several points on the ham. The artisan then smells the aromas released to determine whether the ham has reached optimal maturity. At the same time, other criteria such as the firmness of the meat, fat distribution, and overall color are also assessed. Only the hams that meet all these strict standards are certified as premium quality jamón. Each ham that meets the quality standards after the long curing process is taken down from the cellar and moved to the final processing area, where every finishing step is carried out with care and precision. Here, each ham is branded with a traditional hot iron stamp, a symbol that clearly certifies its origin and premium quality. This mark holds legal value, But more importantly, it stands as undeniable proof of the years of patience, dedication, and expert craftsmanship behind each piece. After branding, every ham is clearly labeled with important details, including product type, year of production, region of origin, and relevant certifications. This final step ensures transparency, traceability, and consumer trust. Finally, the ham is wrapped in traditional wax paper or vacuum sealed using modern technology to optimally preserve its rich flavor and perfect texture throughout transportation and storage, ready to reach the customer at its absolute best. In addition to whole legs, jamón ibérico is also sold in smaller blocks or thin slices for consumer convenience. When preparing it for slicing, the outer layer of skin is first removed to expose the meat and eliminate any residual salt or impurities on the surface. The bone is then carefully extracted, either by hand or using specialized machinery, to ensure the meat structure remains intact and undamaged. Once deboned, the ham is pressed into a rectangular shape for easier packaging, and finally vacuum sealed to preserve its freshness and optimal quality. For sliced versions, modern cutting machines shave the ham into ultra-thin slices, almost translucent, while maintaining both texture and flavor. These slices are then transported by conveyor belt to an automated packing area, where the entire process is carried out quickly and with high precision. The entire operation takes place in a strictly controlled environment, with hygiene and temperature closely monitored to ensure every slice meets the highest quality standards. Thanks to this process, consumers can enjoy the distinctive taste of jamón ibérico in a convenient format, without sacrificing the essence of tradition. Unlike cows, goats, or sheep, alpacas eat very little, living mainly on natural grasses and hay. No industrial feed is needed, just lay out clean grass and they'll calmly wander over to graze. There's a fascinating truth. The happiness of an alpaca is the golden key to producing premium quality fleece. That's why most alpacas are raised in semi-free or rotational grazing systems across vast highland pastures like those in the Andes. This approach not only reduces feeding costs, but also allows the animals to move freely, stay relaxed, and maintain optimal fleece quality. What's more, when grazing naturally, alpacas don't uproot the grass. They only nibble the tops. This protects the soil and helps preserve vegetation. Their unique 3-compartment stomach also makes digestion highly efficient, allowing them to absorb maximum nutrients from minimal food. It's this remarkable ability to eat less and thrive that makes the alpaca an ideal choice for sustainable farming, where even a handful of grass contributes to the making of some of the world's most precious fibers. But of course, to produce truly premium fleece from happy alpacas, a healthy diet alone isn't enough. Daily care is equally essential. From cleaning the barns regularly, since each alpaca can relieve itself up to 12 times a day, to carefully managing vaccinations and parasite control, every task is done with precision and respect. Breeding is also strictly managed through selective mating programs, aimed at improving both the fineness and color quality of the fleece. As a result, alpacas now produce over 22 naturally occurring fleece colors, making them one of the most color-diverse fiber animals in the world. And when it comes to pregnancy, alpacas are given just as much care. If you're familiar with how horses or cattle are cared for during gestation, you'll be glad to know that alpacas receive the same level of attention, including regular ultrasound checks to ensure the fetus is developing healthily. After nearly a year of pregnancy, the mother alpaca typically gives birth to a single baby while standing, and the delivery is gentle, guided by the patient instincts of a nurturing mother. The newborn, known as a cría, weighs around 6 to 9 kilograms at birth. What's especially remarkable is that, despite some initial wobbliness, the cria can usually stand up and take its first brave steps within less than an hour after being born. Over the next 2 to 3 years, this tiny creature will grow into a full-grown alpaca, weighing between 55 and 80 kilograms, ready to enter the next chapter of its life, its very first shearing. Before the process begins, the alpacas are brought into a quiet, clean area to help minimize stress. This step is especially important because alpacas are extremely sensitive animals. Even being handled the wrong way can cause them to panic or fall into a state of severe stress. That's why, to ensure the safety of both the animal and the handlers, alpacas are usually gently restrained with soft straps or laid on their side over padded mats, a far more comfortable approach compared to suspending sheep during shearing. But don't be misled into thinking that shearing is a burden for alpacas. Without it, their fleece grows heavy and dense, limiting their steps, trapping heat, and quietly placing their well-being at risk. Shearing lets them stay light and free, ready to roam, breathe, and enjoy the soft embrace of summer wind. Each alpaca can produce between 2 to 4 kilograms of fiber per shearing season. And among that, the fleece from the very first shearing, known as baby alpaca, is always more valuable due to its exceptional fineness and uniquely soft texture. This means that each harvest season, thousands of tons of alpaca fleece are only halfway through their journey, traveling from remote highland pastures to modern factories, where they are cleaned, sorted, refined, and spun into premium fibers destined for the world of luxury fashion. After harvest, alpaca fleece is carefully packed into large bags and transported to artisanal processing facilities. Here, a meticulous and entirely manual process begins. Workers open each bag by hand and spread the fleece across wide tables for inspection. With trained eyes and experienced hands, they sort the fibers by natural color, length, softness, and cleanliness. This is no simple task. A single facility may receive hundreds of kilograms of fleece per day, and every piece must be evaluated individually. The finest fibers, known as baby alpaca, are carefully separated, while coarser strands are set aside for products like blankets or rugs. The entire process is carried out without the use of heavy machinery, preserving the fiber's natural structure and intrinsic value. It is here, between skilled hands and quiet dedication, that the journey of turning a humble strand of fleece into a luxurious, sustainable product truly begins. Once sorted, the alpaca fibers continue their journey along conveyor belts to the washing area, where a deep cleaning process combined with preliminary combing begins. Because alpaca fleece doesn't contain natural oils like the lanolin found in sheep's wool, this cleaning stage is considerably gentler and requires neither harsh chemicals nor high-temperature water. It's a process that's more environmentally friendly and especially suitable for sensitive skin, which needs to be treated with extra care. At this stage, the fleece is soaked in warm water, around 45 to 55 degrees Celsius, mixed with biodegradable soap. Throughout the washing process, while the temperature isn't high enough to boil a chicken egg, it's just warm enough to soften the fibers, making combing more effective, detangling, removing debris, and aligning the strands in one direction. On average, each batch of alpaca fleece goes through 3 to 4 cycles of rinsing and combing to achieve optimal cleanliness and softness, preparing it for the next step, being spun into premium quality yarn. After being thoroughly washed and carefully combed, the alpaca fibers are moved to the drying area. Here, they are placed in specialized dryers operating at a controlled temperature of around 60 degrees Celsius, the ideal level for removing moisture while preserving the fiber's natural softness and structure. The drying process is gentle and even, allowing each strand to maintain its elasticity and original quality. Once the alpaca fibers are fully dried, they enter a pivotal phase in their transformation, the carding stage. This process detangles, straightens, and softens the fibers, turning them into a uniform, airy mass, an ideal condition for spinning. During this stage, the fibers are fed through a series of rotating drums covered in fine wire teeth, which act like intricate combs. These rollers remove any remaining impurities and align the fibers in the same direction. The result is continuous, lightweight, and breathable fiber strands called mica. Depending on the machine and fiber fineness, each carding unit can process 15 to 30 kilograms of fleece per hour. After formation, the mica strands are wound into large rolls for storage or passed directly to the spinning section. This roll form not only preserves the quality of the fiber, but also facilitates handling in the next stages. Carding plays a crucial role, not just in enhancing the texture and workability of the fiber, but in ensuring even twist and tension during spinning. Thanks to this delicate yet essential process, alpaca fleece begins to take shape, on its way to becoming soft, durable yarns that fuel the future of sustainable fashion. From thick mica slivers, the entire process continues with full mechanization. The alpaca fibers are fed into industrial spinning machines, where they are precisely stretched and twisted to form fine, consistent, and durable single yarns. Once complete, these yarns are automatically wound onto bobbins or cones, ready for the next stage. Before entering the weaving phase, the single yarns undergo a plying process, in which 2 or more strands are twisted together in the opposite direction of the original spin. This enhances strength, stability, and ensures a more even texture in the finished fabric. Next, in fully automated weaving frames, the alpaca yarns are intricately interlaced to produce a variety of fabric types. From here, soft scarves, cozy sweaters, and other high-end garments are born, delivering not only production efficiency, but also preserving the elegance and refinement that define alpaca fiber. Beyond being woven into its natural form, alpaca fiber also embarks on a vibrant journey, the dyeing and finishing process. The dyeing process typically occurs at a gentle 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, using biodegradable, eco-friendly dyes that preserve the softness of the fiber while protecting the surrounding ecosystem. After dyeing, the yarn is carefully dried and moves into the finishing stage. Here, each batch is meticulously checked for color consistency and fiber integrity, then wound into small cones or bobbins, ready for weaving, sewing, or embroidery. Thanks to this delicate, environmentally conscious process, alpaca fiber not only retains its signature softness, but also comes alive in a spectrum of colors. Perfect for everything from culturally inspired handmade pieces to refined, modern fashion. After dyeing and drying are complete, the alpaca yarn, now soft, durable, and full of vibrant color, is ready to enter the weaving stage. In this phase, the dyed cones of yarn are fed into high-precision industrial looms where each thread is carefully interlaced to form wide, consistent, and beautifully textured fabrics. Thanks to advanced automation, these looms can produce meters of fabric at impressive speeds while still maintaining exceptional quality. The precise alignment of threads ensures a smooth surface, free from knots or imperfections, ideal for crafting high-end garments. The final texture of the fabric depends on the type of yarn used. Finer threads yield lightweight cloth, perfect for scarves or delicate tops, while thicker fibers create stronger weaves, ideal for coats, ponchos, or cozy blankets.